Hi everybody. So today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about what I was talking about in my first video, which is why you should try to speak the counterpart's own language when you're abroad. And one of my friends told me, like, it's too bad that you didn't provide any details, like maybe examples. So today I'm just going to focus on examples, and to spice things up, I'm going to be also speaking about food, so stay tuned. So first example, one day I went to Korea, South Korea, and I was at a client doing automotive. And basically we're discussing business, we're discussing also their technical requirements, and I just engage in friendly banter, like in Korean, a little bit above and beyond, like 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다. And I also talked a little bit about South Korean delicacies that I appreciated, such as samnakji. Do you know what samnakji is? Well, that was samnakji. I only have one thing to say about it. samnakji는 좋아해요. 맛있어요 때문에. So that's one example, and you know what? It kind of helped the relationship there, because suddenly this guy went back to my Korean counterpart and said, wow, Steve speaks Korean a little bit at least. Like, how did he learn that? And my counterpart said, well, like, he has been traveling here a few times already, and he's coming on a fairly frequent basis. So suddenly it helped him frame our company, which was coming from the United States, as not necessarily a foreign company. It's like, it was a lot closer suddenly in that guy's mind. He was like, wow, they're just like, almost like a South Korean company. And they actually bought from us again and again in the next following months. Maybe it was not all due to that, but it still helped. So here's my second example. That time I was in China, and it was a business technical discussion with a client that we were trying to land in Chengdu. And basically, these guys in Chengdu appreciate food a lot. And I started speaking with them, doing everything in Chinese, and obviously that, surprised them a little bit. And what happened next is that at the end of our discussions, they were quite happy. They said, how about you come with us and we're going to have food? And that's what they do. Often when they like you, they actually want to get food with you and celebrate a little bit. So I went out with them and with the guys at the reseller, and this is what was on the menu. That was 火锅。火锅是非常非常好吃的，但是也是非常麻死了，我出汗不少了。I literally sweat a lot of sweat out of every pores in my body. That was incredible. But it was also very good. And the point was that my counterparts might not have invited me at all if I refused to engage with them on their own terms. Maybe they would, or maybe they would not, but at least it helped. And then after that, we ended up doing business with these guys. So I guess it helped. My last experience that I'm going to relate here has nothing to do with business. I went on vacation with my family in Japan, and usually I try to bring them to smaller restaurants, so you get more of the local feel about food and about just the culture in general. So I entered that really small restaurant, and then suddenly one of the proprietors, a small lady, she comes and then she says, no English, and she's absolutely panicked. And then I just turned around to her and said, oh, sumimasen ga, watashi wa nihongo wo chutoko da dekimasu. それで、メニューも読めますね。それで、大丈夫ですか? And then she says, yes, okay, well, sure, you can come. And then suddenly, like, the tension dissipated almost instantaneously. But then what was really funny is that a little bit later on, there was a couple that was Asian looking, came in. She tried to have a conversation with them in Japanese. And guess what happened? No English, no English. And then I was like, okay, like I need to do something about this. I turned around to them and said, 对不起，你们说中文吗？啊，你们是中国人吗？啊，台湾啊，没事，那个我跟他说一点话了，那个如果我翻译的话怎么样呢？哎，可以帮助。So I basically told them, you know, let's see if I can do the interpreter here. And I volunteered for that. Then she accepted them in the restaurant, and the food was very good. And then the neighbors at the next table, Japanese salaryman, started talking with me. And then I ended up being able to practice my Japanese. And my girls, well, they got a good culinary experience, a good cultural one as well. And hopefully that lady, well, now she knows that even if you're a foreigner, it doesn't mean that you don't know how to speak Japanese or that you should be denied service, right? We can adapt. So that was my point about this. It's like you're probably going to have a much better cultural experience if you try to speak a little bit of the other, your counterpart's language. Should try. So far, all the comments I got were going in that direction. So how about you just try it? So that's it for today. In my next opus, I guess I'm going to talk about something else, but it's going to be international business related for sure. In the meantime, this is Steve talking to you from his treehouse, aka my deck, and I'm going to wish you une très bonne journée et à la prochaine.